as you can see by the thumbnail. So what do I think about these animes? Like the ones that you saw in the thumbnail. So I always view these types of anime slash mangas as, I don't really mean this in an offensive way. If some of y'all got offended, I apologize. So I always view and categorize these animes as author's fantasy. Basically, it's self-explanatory. I believe those types of animes are simply the author's very, very twisted and downright disgusting, fantasy. Because here's what I observe from these types of animes. I don't really watch them, but I see a lot of people really relating to them. And those types of people who are a fan of these types of animes are, guess what? Are what people say are losers, like just basically losers. The guys who cannot pull women, the guys who cannot get the hers, like exactly. So these authors, I believe, they had a very rough childhood, or might be just straight up getting bullied in their high school days, especially in their senior stuffs, senior type of high school. Anyway, so since they are getting bullied in real life and cannot get any women, they have resulted into making these types of anime and manga. Since they know in real life they cannot do that in real life, they have resulted into making these mangas and animes, writing and drawing their very own sexual preferences and their very own twisted, almost fetishize plot to the story. Like you can see, like many of these animes, especially in the thumbnail, those animes hold the most out of pocket things, like especially those the much more sinful version of it. You know what I'm saying? It starts with letter H. Anyway, so these types of things should not be normalized. Do you not understand? These types of things should not be normalized, because you're basically saying what these authors' own sexual preferences are and their very own twisted fetishes, and these authors are showing it to the public, and yet again that causes the consumers relate to it. Probably they share the same tragic in their life, and they are now coping into these types of things. Like these types of people, I see them like I just genuinely feel bad for these people, because they have resulted into these fictional things just to cope with their tragedy. And I feel bad in an almost pitiful way. I'm not saying that I'm belittling them. No, I do not discriminate or belittle anyone. I simply just feel bad in a pitiful way, because instead of actually improving and making progress to yourself, these people isolate themselves and put themselves in a bubble and just binge watching these degenerate, these enemies that are causing you to become more loser. Like it basically just ascends your actual behavior of being a loser and become a much more greater of a greater version of a loser. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not a loser, but instead of, I, okay, I don't get girls. I also am very shy and very timid. But as a person who strive greater in life, I try my very best to, you know, become more sociable, exercise, be more productive in my class. And I've been doing that to just overall become a better person. And then these people, it makes me so mad. It actually makes me so mad. These people just out here goning out like there's nothing else to do. Like, bro, are you sick in the head? The reason why you're so loser in your life is because you consume these things that are obviously unhealthy for your mental health. Anyway, so yes, no offense at the end of the day, guys. No offense. If you are the type of person who watches these types of animes, make sure to quit it as soon as possible before it negatively impacts your life.